So I'm here with Mr. Bitenga. We had this morning a very interesting talk on the situation in Africa, in particular in Rwanda and in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The EU has concluded recently, relatively recently, an agreement with Rwanda on minerals, and actually we know that most of these minerals, if not all, come from the Democratic Republic of Congo, where there are also some guerrilla movements in action that are supported by Rwanda. Is that correct? Did I put that correctly, or what is missing?
Oh yeah, I think that's correct. You have put it very well. And unfortunately, the European Union calls this memorandum of understanding, they described it as green revolution, a fair cooperation with Rwanda. But at the local level, this memorandum of disagreement had a lot of negative consequences, and it was horribly perceived by the Congolese people, because actually Rwanda has no minerals, and if they do, they have very, very small quantity. But they are now making billions of dollars for the exportation of minerals. And what we have realized in research is that the more Rwanda makes more mineral exportations to Europe, the more the conflicts rises in the DRC. Right now, the M23 movement, which is Rwandan-backed, they receive weapons, sophisticated weapons from Rwanda. The Rwandan soldiers are on the Congolese soil, committing systematic human rights abuses, including sexual violence, executions of civilians who refuse exploitation of mineral, recruitment of children in Rwanda in the army, but also in the Congo. So these agreements that the EU took was perceived at the local level as a bloodshed agreement, not a cooperation agreement, but because the blood of the Congolese people is being shed by these armed groups and Rwandan-backed armed groups and many other armed groups in the DRC.
Mr. Bitenga, what is then the advice that you give to us Europeans? Yeah. Should we just cancel those agreements, or do we need other agreements? But now, as politicians, what are we supposed now to do about that situation?
This agreement should be cancelled immediately, right now, because I'm wondering the processes which were in place before these agreements took place, because Europeans claim to be rational, but I didn't see any moral rationality, any ethical rationality in this agreement. So Congo is open to cooperation. If Europe needs critical raw materials, why not coming to Congo immediately and get it from there? But getting it from Rwanda out of the conflict, Congo is losing a lot. You know, minerals are not there forever. They can finish. There is no reinvestment in public infrastructures, in hospitals, in schools, in education, in building roads, etc. So Europe is contributing to the impoverishment, is making Congo poor and poor again. So for a fair business, Europe should come to Congo and cooperate with Congolese immediately, instead of passing through a third party, Rwanda.
May I ask you one last question? Perhaps, you know, we impose on our companies these due diligence obligations. They should take care of their supply chains and watch out for human rights violations. But actually, I have the feeling that if we conclude such agreements from state to state, or from the European Union with an African state, actually we as politicians, as state actors, we prevent our companies of doing those obligations in the due diligence field. Yeah. Isn't there a contradiction, maybe?
Yeah, there are a lot of contradictions, and Rwanda is misleading you. It's misleading you because, you know, minerals are extracted in Congo, and then they are smuggled through the Lake Kivu and other borders to Rwanda. And everybody knows that there is war in Congo, so the minerals from Congo are seen as conflict minerals. But when these minerals are smuggled to Rwanda, they become clean according to the European understanding, and which is really, really problematic. So we have this big issue with mineral armed groups activities, extracting minerals, but the problem is more complex than that. We did research last year in a mining site in Kamituga, because mining activities are highly gendered. So men digging gold, coming down into the tunnel, far away in the tunnel, hundreds of kilometers in the tunnel, getting gold is mixed with sand, and they give the sand to women outside the tunnel. The women can wash, but women use toxic substance, this mercury, and our research shows that after having touched mercury for some years, many women have developed nervous system disorders. So many of them are no longer able to walk. They can't walk. They are invalidated. They can't handle anything. They can't touch anything. They have lost the speech ability because of touching mercury. And in some cases, it's led to fatal death. But when this mineral is exported to Europe, we say this mineral is clean because of our limited understanding, Western-centric understanding of what clean is. And unfortunately, Europe is defining principles and concepts without consulting others, and that's very problematic.
Mr. Bitenga, thank you very much for drawing our attention to those issues, and I think that it's for us terribly interesting. It puts us in front of our own moral responsibility, and it's people such as you who come here and tell us the truth, that we maybe learn something and do it better. So thank you so much for your help and for your comments.
Thank you very much, sir.
The best luck also for you.